Okay, we're with Eilidh Child, reflecting on a pretty remarkable 2014 season. Eilidh, just looking back, the Diamond League, Hampden, Zurich, is there a highlight that you can pick out?
It's really difficult. There's kind of so many highlights, but in different ways. I think probably my lap of honour in Hampden is probably a huge highlight, and then winning that gold medal in Zurich, I think, is sort of on par with that. So yeah, there's been so many fantastic moments. It is difficult to sort of pick, but I think they're real special moments that will stick with me forever.
And as you look back, did the Commonwealth Games itself live up to the expectation that you had for it? Obviously, you'd waited for a number of years. I think you were there when it was announced it was coming to Glasgow 7 years earlier.
Yeah, I was at the Old Fruit Market when it got announced that we were getting it, and yeah, I mean, it lived up to its expectations and more. It was such an amazing championships. Even before, we started to compete, the athletics took place. We had all the swimming, and just Glasgow was absolutely buzzing. And to have almost a sellout crowd at every athletic session was just amazing. And yeah, I think the whole country just got behind sport, and everybody just loved it. And I think people were a bit of a loss what to do when it was all over.
I think that's definitely true. But for you, there was that kind of additional burden. You've had two particular pressures over the 2014 season: home favourite for Hampden, and then outright favourite for Zurich, where you had to wear a blue number, signifying you're number one in the rankings. How difficult was it sort of carrying the burden of those two pressures?
I don't think I realised how difficult it was until probably I'd finished. That real sense of relief after it was all over. But at the time, I just kind of kept focusing on what I always do. I always just go out and run, and had to keep remembering that I wasn't doing anything different. It was still 400 metres, it was still 10 hurdles, it was still the same event I've always done, and I had to really just focus on making sure I executed the race right. And as soon as I focused on that, it kind of brought everything into my control. And as soon as I took control of it, then I knew I would perform well. But yeah, definitely afterwards, I did have this big kind of huge kind of relief after it, and just thought, thank goodness, it's over, and I've done what I wanted to do.
But that mental side, you'd actually been working on that for a number of months before, hadn't you? To say, how will I cope with it?
Yeah, I'd been working with a sports psychologist actually after London, after 2012, so for quite a long time now. And again, it was that sort of focused on what I can control, and not getting caught up in what other people said and what other people expected me to go and win. At the end of the day, it was, what I could go out there and do. And I think every time I got asked about what I was going to do, I just said, as long as I can step off the track knowing that I've left everything on the track and I've given my best, I'll be delighted with whatever happens. And that's what happened. I could walk off the track at Hampden and at Zurich and know, well, I've given everything and got what I wanted out of it.
And even before you raced at Hampden in the Commonwealth Games, you had a very good run there in the Diamond League. I think I'm right in saying it was your season's best. Yeah. But in actual fact, that wasn't on the roster for the league points for the Diamond League. So for you to get a very high finish in the Diamond League, how pleased were you with that, considering that Hampden run wasn't part of it?
Yeah, I was delighted with that. At the start of the season, my coach and I had sat down and said, what can we do this year to sort of make a difference? And it was about doing as many Diamond Leagues as possible, so I could expose myself to that level of competition. And I wanted to mix it with the best girls in the world. And now to kind of finish the Diamond League and finish second, it's kind of said to me now, oh, I am one of them now, which is really nice, because I've always kind of seen it being me and them, and now I'm actually, one of the best in the world, which is great, and great for confidence. But yeah, the Diamond League was great to be part of, and it just meant that whenever I kind of race these girls at championships, I wasn't intimidated by them, because I'd been racing them, week in, week out, the Diamond League events.
So that's probably the leap that you made in 2014, following on from fifth place in Moscow. But with the Worlds coming up next year, Rio just after that, is London still a little bit of a frustration for you? Is that something that you maybe you've got some slightly bad memories that you want to erase?
Yeah, I think this year I've kind of been able to kind of put it to bed a little bit. I think whenever I sort of thought about London before, I always had kind of negative thoughts about it. But now when I kind of look back on it, I sort of see it for what it was. And I think you can take so much more from things that haven't gone your way than things that do go well. And I think if London had gone better for me, I might not be where I am now. And I think because London didn't go the way I wanted it to go, I've been able to learn from it and move on from it. And I think that's really kind of helped me this year in terms of my confidence and the way I've raced. And I just think that you kind of have no regrets. And I think, London definitely was maybe a blessing in disguise.
So the competitive edge is alive and well.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just absolutely loving my athletics at the moment, and just loving racing. And normally this time of year when I'm on my break, I'm I can't wait to get away from athletics and switch off. But, you know, I'm just as eager as ever to kind of get back training as well. So, yeah, it's definitely that competitive side is still there. And, yeah, I just want to just carry on racing.